Welcome back. This is part 3 of the indefinite integration series. Today we are going to look at some new formulae. So let's go through them first. Integration of cot x with respect to x is log of sin x plus c. Integration of tan x is minus log of cos x plus c, or it is even log of sec x plus c. Integration of sec x is log of sec x plus tan x plus c, and integration of cosec x is log of cosec x minus cot x plus c, or it is even log of tan of x by 2 plus c. So let's see the proofs of these four formulas very quickly. So the first one, integration of cot x. Now what is integration of cot x? Cot x can be written as cos x upon sin x, and you know that the derivative of sin x is cos x, so which means this is f dash of x upon f of x, as the rule that we learned in the previous video. So according to that, if you have f dash of x upon f of x in an integration, you simply get the log of the denominator, meaning log of f of x. In this case it will become log of sin x plus c. So that is the proof for the first formula. Now if you come to the second one, integration of tan x, it is tan x is sin x upon cos x. Now you know the derivative of cos x is minus sin x, so we have made an adjustment of a minus sign inside as well as outside, and so therefore this will become minus of log of cos x plus c, the log of the denominator. Now this minus sign can even go up as per log properties, so minus sign goes up, so cos x gets raised to minus 1. Now what is cos x the whole raised to minus 1? That is 1 upon cos x, and what is 1 upon cos x? It is sec x. So you can also have the answer for integration of tan x as log of sec x plus c. So there are two formulas for integration of tan x. You can either have a minus of log of cos x, or you can have a positive log of sec x, of course with a plus c at the end. Come to the third formula, integration of sec x. Now in this proof we multiply and divide by sec x plus tan x. Now when we multiply and divide by sec x plus tan x, the numerator becomes sec square x plus sec x tan x. Now how does that help? If you check the derivative of the denominator, the derivative of sec x is sec x tan x, plus the derivative of tan x is sec square x, which means the numerator becomes f dash of x, the denominator is f of x. You can again use the f dash x upon f of x rule, and the answer will become log of sec x plus tan x plus c. Coming to the fourth formula, integration of cosec x. Again in this proof we will multiply and divide by cosec x minus cot x this time. So the numerator would become cosec square x minus cosec x cot x. The denominator is cosec x minus cot x. Now let's check the derivative of the denominator. The derivative of cosec x is minus cosec x cot x, which is there in the numerator here, and the derivative of cot x is minus cosec square x, but this minus will make it plus, so therefore you have a positive cosec square x in the numerator, which means the numerator is f dash of x, the denominator is f of x, and again we use the rule f dash x upon f of x. That will give you log of the denominator, so log of cosec x minus cot x plus c. So that is one of the outcomes. If you see very carefully over here, integration of cosec x is log of cosec x minus cot x. We also have to prove that it is also log of tan of x by 2. So let's see how that comes. Now cosec x is 1 upon sin x, cot x is cos x upon sin x. So if we were to take the LCM as sin x, so 1 minus cos x upon sin x is what you're left with inside. So 1 minus cos x using trigonometry is 2 sin square x by 2. Again using trigonometry, sin x can be written as 2 sin x by 2 into cos x by 2. 2 gets cancelled here. Sin square x by 2 upon sin x by 2, 1 sin x by 2 got cancelled. So you got sin x by 2 upon cos x by 2, which is tan x by 2, and that is how you get the other result, log of tan x by 2 plus c. So like I said, integration of cosec x is log of cosec x minus cot x plus c. Also it is log of tan of x by 2 plus c. So let's see some problems based on these formulae. So let's look at question number 1. You have integration of cos 2x upon cos x. Now I'm going to use the trigonometry formula for cos 2x as 2 cos square x minus 1. By doing that, I am now going to split this cos x across this minus sign. So 2 cos square x upon cos x becomes 2 cos x, minus 1 upon cos x becomes sec x. and then we just simply integrate. The integration of 2 cos x you keep 2 aside, integration of cos x is sin x, of course, minus integration of sec x we've just learned is log of sec x plus tan x plus c. Moving to the second question now. We have integration of sine of x plus alpha upon sin x. Now remember, this alpha is a constant. Now what do we do here? Let's apply the sine of a plus b formula. So what do you get? You get sine a cos b plus cos a sin b, which means you get sine x cos alpha plus cos x sin alpha, and you have the whole divided by sin x over here. So let us split up this sin x across this plus sign. So sin x cos alpha upon sin x, here the sin x got cancelled, you get cos alpha, and here if you split the sin x across the plus sign over here, you get cos x upon sin x, which is cot x, and you have the sin alpha written behind it. Now remember, cos alpha and sin alpha both are constants, so they will act as constants only. So what is the integration of cos alpha? You will keep the constant out, cos alpha, and integration of 1 will become x, plus you keep the constant aside, so sin alpha is kept aside, integration of cot x is, of course we just learned it right now, log of sin x plus c. Moving to the third question. Now we have cos of x plus a upon cos of x minus a. Now you need to be very smart over here. See, we want to split this cos of x minus a across the numerator, just like how we did in question number 2, but for that you should have the angle x minus a in this cos of x plus a. So what do? We take this x plus a and we try to express it in terms of the angle in the denominator. So we will simply write the numerator as cos of, and you just simply write this angle as x minus a and then try to reduce the x plus a. So what do we need to feed to the x minus a to make it x plus a? We need to feed it a plus 2a, which means x plus a is written in terms of the denominator angle. So we've written it as cos of x minus a plus 2a. And now I'm going to treat this entity over here like cos of a plus b. So your x minus a is behaving as capital A, plus your 2a is behaving as capital B. So your cos of a plus b formula is cos a cos b minus sin a sin b. So we will apply that formula in the next step. So cos of x minus a into cos of 2a minus sin of x minus a into sin of 2a, and the whole thing divided by cos of x minus a. Now we will do exactly like the previous sum. We will take this cos of x minus a and we will split it up across this minus sign. So when you split it over here, cos of x minus a upon cos of x minus a got cancelled, so you're just left with a cos of 2a, and on this side you have sin of x minus a upon cos of x minus a becoming tan of x minus a, and the sin 2a is written behind. Thereafter we will integrate. Remember, cos 2a and sin 2a are constants. So when you integrate cos 2a, you will get a cos 2a into integration of 1, which is x, minus you keep the sin 2a aside, and integration of tan of x minus a will become log of sec of x minus a. See, remember there is a linear term inside, so the formula continues. So integration of tan x is log of sec x, so integration of tan of x minus a can also be written as log of sec of x minus a. You will of course have to divide by coefficient of x, but here the coefficient of x is 1, so you need not do anything, and so this is your answer. Now come to question number 4. Now if you look at question number 4, we have integration of root of 1 plus 2 tan x into bracket sec x plus tan x. This whole thing is inside the root. Now how do we go about this? This one is written as it is. You multiply this 2 tan x inside the bracket, so you get 2 in tan x into sec x, which is 2 sec x tan x, plus you get 2 tan x into tan x, which is 2 tan square x. Now we take one of the tan square x from this 2 tan square x and place it with 1, so you get 1 plus tan square x plus this 2 sec x tan x, and you have one of the tan square x carried forward over here or written as it is over here. So 2 tan square x, 1 tan square x is gone here, and the other tan square x remains over here. Now 1 plus tan square x, by trigonometry identity, is sec square x plus 2 sec x tan x plus this tan square x. If you see this carefully, isn't that sec x plus tan x whole squared? Yeah, it's a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. Yes, so it is sec x plus tan x whole squared. The root and the square they go away. You're left with integration of sec x plus tan x. You know the integration of sec x, we just learned it. You know the integration of tan x, we just learned it. What is it? Integration of sec x is log of sec x plus tan x, plus integration of tan x is log of sec x plus c. You can even write integration of tan x as minus log of cos x, but that is up to you. Let's move to the next type of sums. Now, I am now going to discuss type 3. We've already dealt with type 1 and type 2 in the previous video. Now let us look at what this type 3 is all about. The type 3 is sums of this form. When you have integration of 1 upon a sin x plus b cos x, what do we do? So specific to these type of sums, we are going to always, in such cases, multiply and divide the denominator by root of a squared plus b squared. So you will take this a, this coefficient of sin x, and this coefficient of cos x, which is b, and you will do a root of this number square plus this number square, and whatever outcome comes, that you will multiply and divide the denominator by. So let us just take an example and understand this method or this type. So let's take an example. This is I equal to integration of dx upon sin x plus root 3 cos x. So it is exactly in that form. So you know your a is 1 and your b is root 3. So it is fitting into this type perfectly. So let's do what they've asked us to do as the first step. So multiply and divide the denominator by root of 1 squared plus root 3 square. What is that? That is root of 1 plus 3. What is that? That's root 4, which means that's 2. So you will multiply and divide the denominator by 2. So let's multiply the denominator by 2. So this 2, which you see as half over here, that is actually multiplying the denominator by 2. So it is appearing as half. And the dividing by 2 part is here. It's split up over here. So sin x is divided by 2 and root 3 cos x is also divided by 2. So there is a half here and there is a root 3 by 2 over here. Now, what do we do with these numbers? You will write this half as cos of pi by 3. You know cos of 60 is half, cos of 60 degrees is half. So I've written the radian form of 60 degrees. So cos of pi by 3 plus cos x into, what is root 3 by 2? It is sine of pi by 3. Yes, sine of 60. So I have written this as sin x cos pi by 3 plus cos x sin pi by 3 with a half outside, obviously. Now sin a cos b plus cos a sin b, you know, is sin of a plus b. So this becomes sin of x plus pi by 3 in the denominator, which will then go up and become cosec of x plus pi by 3 with a half outside. Now integration of cosec, we've just learned, is log of cosec x minus cot x. So obviously in place of x you have x plus pi by 3. So we will write half into log of mod cosec of x plus pi by 3 minus cot of x plus pi by 3 plus c. You recall that there is one more formula for cosec x. The integration of cosec x is log of tan x by 2. So you half the angle. So you can even write the answer as half log of tan of and half of this x plus pi by 3. So x will become x by 2 and pi by 3 will be divided by 2. That will become pi by 6, means 60 will become 30. So tan of x by 2 plus pi by 6 is what will come inside. So you can either have this answer or you can have this answer as well. Both are equally correct. Now let's come to type 4. Let's see what this type 4 is all about. Now if you have an integration of 1 upon sine of x minus a into sine of x minus b, or if you have integration of 1 upon cos of x minus a into cos of x minus b, then we will multiply and divide by a constant sine of b minus a. So if both these terms are sine or both the terms are cos with the same angles, x minus a and x minus b, here you see this, then we will multiply and divide by sine of b minus a. So both have to be sine or both have to be cos. Then we'll multiply and divide by sine of b minus a. If you have a combination of sine and cos, like in this case, 1 upon sine of x minus a into cos of x minus b. So there is a sine cos combination with the same angles x minus a and x minus b. Then we will multiply and divide by cos of b minus a. So keep this in mind that if both are sine and both are cos, then we'll multiply by sine of b minus a. If one is sine and one is cos, then we'll multiply and divide by cos of b minus a. Now let us take one out of these three sums to understand how this method works. So this is integration of 1 upon sine of x minus a into sine of x minus b. So both are sine, so we will multiply and divide by sine of b minus a as per the instructions given under the type. So this 1 upon sine of b minus a is divided outside and sine of b minus a is multiplied inside. Now what do we do with this sine of b minus a? See, this 1 upon sine b minus a will just keep remaining outside. It will not affect the sum at all, but now the sine of b minus a which I've written inside will do all the damage, or it will basically help us solve this question. Now sine of b minus a is written in terms of these two angles, your angle x minus a and x minus b. How do I do that? I'll just write this b minus a as sine of you just write this x minus a minus x minus b, and if you just work it out, you'll get b minus a. See, x minus x gets cancelled, and minus a minus of minus b, so that's minus a plus b, meaning it is b minus a. So I have expressed b minus a in terms of the angles that are present in the denominator. So I have expressed b minus a as x minus a minus of x minus b. Now what do I do with it? I will treat this like sine of this x minus a is treated like capital A and x minus b is treated as capital B. So I will treat it like sine of a minus b. What is sine of a minus b? Sine a cos b minus cos a sine b. So I have precisely done that. This is sine of x minus a into cos of x minus b minus cos of x minus a into sine of x minus b. The whole divided by this denominator sine x minus a into sine x minus b. Now I will take these two terms and I will split it across this minus sign. So I will divide these two terms by these two terms, and I'll also divide these two terms by these two terms. So if I divide these two by these terms, if you look very closely, sine of x minus a, sine of x minus a will get cancelled. Cos of x minus b upon sine of x minus b will become cot of x minus b minus, and if you were to divide these two terms with these two terms, you know sine of x minus b is going to get cancelled here, and you will be left with cos of x minus a divided by sine of x minus a, which will become cot of x minus a. So now you are left with the 1 upon sine b minus a outside, and you have cot x minus b minus cot x minus a inside to be integrated. You know the integration of cot is log of sine, so I will just simply write this as log of sine x minus b minus log of sine x minus a. Coefficients of x both are 1, so I need not divide by 1, so you'll just simply have them as they are. Now the next few steps are just for the sake of getting to a particular answer if it is required to be proved in a particular way. Otherwise you can stop here. This is your answer. Now what I have done is just a little bit of simplification using some log properties and some trigonometry. So log of sine x minus b minus log of sine x minus a, by using a log property, will become log of a minus log of b becomes log of a by b. So log of this will become sine of x minus b divided by sine of x minus a. Now if we were to flip this sine of x minus a up and sine of x minus b down, there's a minus sign generated. Remember, log of x by y is equal to minus of log of y by x, and so I have done precisely that. So there's a minus sign which is been chucked out outside. So log of sine x minus a upon sine x minus b is what I have inside, and which is why there's a minus sign outside. Now this minus sign, if fed to sine of b minus a, so if minus of sine theta you know is sine of minus theta, so minus sine b minus a can be written as sine of minus of b minus a, right? And sine of minus of b minus a is nothing but sine of a minus b. So you can get a final answer to the effect 1 upon sine a minus b into log of sine of x minus a upon sine x minus b plus c. I hope these examples have cleared out most of the types and problems based on the formulae. Until next time, thank you.